So, we love you. How do you keep things fresh and exciting in your music teaching studio? Well, we're about to share a few ideas with you today. Welcome to the Ultimate Music Teachers Live Show. I'm your host, Gloria St. Germain, and I'm thrilled to be here with my beautiful co host, the amazing Joanne Barker. Hey, Joanne.
Hey, Glory. Hi, everybody. Today's episode is going to be super fun and we hope insightful for you. We're diving into a topic that all of us teachers care about: how to keep things fresh, exciting, and most importantly, how to keep the momentum going in our lessons.
Yeah, absolutely, Joanne. As teachers, I think we want our students to be engaged, to be motivated, and to be excited to learn. And one of the best ways to do this is through, wait for it, gamification, using fun, structured games that are aligned with their learning level and their goals. And today we're sharing resources that can help you motivate yourself and motivate your students with games that are they're not just random game activities, which we all see all over the place. But here's the key: these gamification activities are directly tied to the concepts and the skills that you are working on with your students. So let's start by talking about the challenge of keeping things fresh. As teachers, it's easy to get into routines, and while routines are helpful, I think if they're too rigid, they can make learning feel repetitive. So, Joanne, how can gamification change all that?
Well, that's a great question, Glory. I think gamification adds maybe an element of surprise. It can add challenge, and it definitely add funds that can really help keep students engaged. And when we introduce those games, especially those tied to their skill level, it's not just about winning, it's about reinforcing what they're learning in a more interactive way. Instead of just asking a question and getting an answer, you're playing a game. The right game can really be that spark that makes a concept click too.
Yeah, exactly. I think gamification not only helps our students, but it also helps us as teachers be motivated. It breaks up the lesson, it adds energy, and reminds us that learning can be playful. And with structured games, we're not just entertaining students, but we're giving them a purpose, a memorable way to reinforce music theory concepts. So I'll share this with you. As the author of the Ultimate Music Theory workbooks, one element I was passionate about was adding gamification. And this is why I invited Joanne Barker to become our Ultimate Music Theory Creative Design Specialist. She is amazing! Exclamation mark. She is the mastermind behind the UMT membership games that are now used worldwide with our UMT membership teachers. Joanne, I know you know this, but teachers love your games, activities, and all of the resources that you've created inside the UMT membership. Can you share a little bit about these?
Yeah, first of all, let me say it's really humbling to, be scrolling through Facebook and see somebody in Singapore with one of my games, or somebody in New Zealand playing one of my games, or somebody, 100 miles from me playing one of my games. I know my games help my students and work for me, but the fact that you've given me this opportunity to share them with other teachers, it just makes my heart so happy, and it makes me feel so humble. And, I think one thing that sets these games aside, the ones that are inside the Ultimate Music Theory Teachers membership, is that they're not just random games. They're carefully structured to align with the Ultimate Music Theory workbooks, or where a student is in their learning process, right? When we started our planning process, we laid out a plan of what concepts would be covered for each month. So I didn't just randomly say, oh, Glory, I'm going to make this game, and here I'm going to make this game. It means that each game directly supports the material and the concepts that students are working on in every level.
Yeah, and I think this alignment is key. And it's why the program is so successful, because you have the workbooks, you're understanding the concepts, and now students are learning about it as well. So let's say, for example, intervals or scales that are in their Ultimate Music Theory workbook, they can immediately apply that knowledge in a game. And it's an approach that reinforces learning. So they're seeing the same concept in different ways, through lessons, through workbook exercises, and then through interactive games. It's amazing.
I think so. And I think that's what helps make these games so powerful. They're not just left wondering, like, why am I playing this? Because these games have a purpose. I've had aha moments happen during the game where the kid goes, oh, I get it. Because maybe you have that kid that's a real visual learner, and seeing it in the game is just a different way to interpret it. Sometimes the page, well, some people find that reading the page really exciting. It's not as exciting for some students. So add a little color to it, add a little challenge to it, and suddenly, it's fun for them. The games are really designed to reinforce exactly what they're learning at that time. And it's a fun to kind of have that clear goal, and it makes it so much more exciting and so much more effective for students.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I would have had that when I was a young student, because I thought theory was
turn the page.
Yeah. Boring.
It was. You're not lying. It was boring.
Yeah, it was. So let's dive into some examples. So inside the UMT Teachers membership, we have both online and downloadable games. So online games are great for quick practice during the lesson, while downloadable games are fantastic for, you can use them during the lesson itself, or you can use it for homework or independent practice.
That's right. The online games are particularly useful for introducing a new concept in a fresh way. For example, let's say they're starting to learn about key signatures. You can introduce them to an online game that lets them practice recognizing those key signatures instantly. It's interactive, it's visual, and it helps them apply their knowledge right away. And you kind of have, dare I say, a little more control over where they're looking. I like to hook my laptop up to I have a TV in my studio when I'm not teaching online, and their books are shut and they're looking at that. So they're not looking all over the place. They're not trying to answer the questions ahead of time. They're engaged with what they're being taught at that time. So not that it gives us teachers more control, but it lets us maintain some direction in our lessons, maybe is a good way to say that.
Yeah, 100%, Joanne. And, for downloadable games, I think these are really a fantastic way to reinforce learning outside of the lesson time, right? And parents love these too, because they get to see that their child is having fun with music theory. And let's face it, if you're a vocalist or you're an instrumentalist, you're a musician of any kind, you need to learn and understand music theory in order to excel in your craft. And these games provide structure, so students can review concepts independently and still feel a sense of achievement, right, Joanne?
Exactly. And, we can talk about how to use these games strategically in your lessons. One approach that I like, and there's games and there's activities. So these activities are a great way to introduce a new concept. And then you can use a similar game. So I've made an activity that introduces it, and then I've made a game that you can use to reinforce it later, right? So these online activities can actually help teachers present those new concepts. Like I was saying about shut the book, and we're gonna do an activity together. So all you have to do is get your little mouse, click, 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 follow along, right? For instance, if you're teaching modes, boy, did I used to struggle with modes until I found Ultimate Music Theory. Boy, they made a difference. So if you're teaching modes and you don't really feel quite as comfortable because you don't teach it too often, there's an online activity that I'm proud to say that, oh my goodness, I'm so happy with this activity. All you do is click, read what's on the screen, and follow along. We've even correlated it so you'll know where it is in the book. It's awesome. So before your students even open their books, not only will they understand better, but you as a teacher, and several teachers have told me this, that they're starting to understand the concept better too, because it's a different way that they've learned it before. Like I said, the page is great, but the page isn't as interactive as that color on the screen and the things moving in front of you. So it just makes my heart so happy to say that I do play like Mozart and Liszt. And if you don't know what that means, you need to join Ultimate Music Theory to find out. And that these activities are helping other teachers. It's kind of like there's the lesson for the day, all prepared for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is the key. And especially in this day and age, Joanne, like obviously the Ultimate Music Theory workbooks are there for you as a tool to teach music theory. But when you're engaging in gamification, and these are such helpful tools that you've created, Joanne, because it's information in introducing the concepts, it's gamification, there's certificates, there's so many things. And another example is when you're teaching rhythm per se, and you can start with an online activity to introduce rhythm values and then use a game to reinforce that concept. Now, this helps students learn, quarter notes, half notes, whole notes, and rests, etc. Then we can revisit that game to solidify knowledge, maybe adding a challenge mode, push them a little bit further, but it's really exciting.
Exactly. And the great thing about using the online activity or game first is that when they open the book, they have their faces like, oh, I get this. Like Gloria and Sheila have got such great tips in these books for us. The teaching tips are just phenomenal. And if there's another way just to help make it more alive and make it come to life for students and bring the package together, because the books, you got to have the books. They're fabulous. But my goal in creating these activities and games was just to reinforce and help solidify the understanding for students, because as I said, not all students learn the same way. So this just gives more students the opportunity to absorb that information. And these games aren't just a one-time thing that you're going to play once and get rid of them. Repeating games or using levels within the same game, like say you're teaching an advanced rudiments, sure, you can play the basic rudiments game, or maybe you're going to play the prep 2 game with that same concept. It's kind of like that quick win. And that really helps boost a student's confidence. When you set an advanced rudiments student down playing a basic rudiments game and they go, well, this is easy. You go, well, look what you know. Isn't that awesome? You must have had a great teacher. So I love those quick wins. And sometimes you need something just to fill the last couple of minutes of a class, of a lesson, right? There you go. These games are perfect for filling in those last few minutes of a game, of a lesson.
Yeah, so true. And I think the best part is that when they succeed in the game, they feel successful in the lesson. And they're not just memorizing, they're engaging, they're practicing their instrument. They're mastering these concepts. And within the Ultimate Music Theory Workbook program, there's also analysis. And through gamification, they're now understanding all of these elements. So the analysis becomes easy, and mastering these concepts is perfect.
Totally. And when you think of it, I've seen several people comment, well, I don't teach theory. Well, if we're teaching beginners to play an instrument, to sing, anything, we are teaching them the theory of how it works. And without understanding how the staff is structured, or how the keyboard's structured, or what a key signature is, we're kind of denying our students the opportunity to grow as musicians and to really, truly understand what they're doing. I faked it for so long. Heck, when I was in grade 4 piano, I didn't know a G from a B in the bass clef. It's a terrible admission to make at this point. Maybe that's why I like jazz chords so much now. So, we really need to provide our students with tools that are effective and complementary to each other. And that's what we've done with the Ultimate Music Theory membership, is brought together the books with where they're learning and the games. Everything's just all fits together like a puzzle. And, I've had many teachers comment about games that they've found, and I've used them myself in the past. And while they're fun, sometimes they cover too broad of a range and they kind of lack that structure. So rest assured, inside the UMT membership, each game is designed specifically to meet students at their level. So there is no guesswork. If it says it's a prep 1 game, it's a prep 1 game. If it says it's advanced, it's advanced. And there's even a complete rudiment set in there too. So you think there's 7 different levels every month of games with specific levels, specific concepts for them, and the online stuff. There's lots of stuff in there. Each game is going to match that level and reinforce what they're learning and make it easy for you as a teacher when you're doing your lesson planning too.
Yeah, it's so true, Joanne. And I want to say again, thank you so much for all of your contributions to the gamification aspect of the Ultimate Music Theory program, because it's the combination that makes it so amazing. And it's why teachers are, first of all, there's such relief for teachers, but they're also being so successful, and so are their students, right? Mm-hmm. Knowing that each game is designed to align with a specific concept means that you don't have to waste time, finding or adjusting games to fit your lessons. And the Ultimate Music Theory resources are here to support both you as a teacher and your students, making it really easy to keep that momentum going without a huge time investment, right?
That's right. It's all in one place. It's all there. You need to get in there and do some clicking around. But once you find all that stuff, it's right there. And if you've got a laptop in your lesson, or as I'm on a desktop here, you're all set to go. And, let's talk about what this adds up to. And that is a positive, successful learning environment. And isn't that our goal? We want to be successful as business owners. We want to be successful as teachers, to have our students come in and really understand. My philosophy is that I want to give my students the tools they need so that they can enjoy making music for the rest of their lives. So when students feel engaged and see their progress in real time through those games, they're motivated to keep on learning.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for us as teachers, Joanne, it's incredibly rewarding to see that spark of understanding. And when a student masters a concept and succeeds in a game, it just boosts their confidence. It deepens their love for learning and for music. And it's a win-win for both teacher and student. And this is why we created the Momentum courses and resources right inside the UMT Teachers membership.
That's right. And this is in addition to the monthly games that are in there. This is a wonderful package of stuff to get you going. One stop to just click on everything and it's all there for you. So if you're looking for more ways to bring more excitement, focus, and momentum to your teaching, gamification is a fantastic tool. It's not just about keeping things fun. We just don't want fluff. That's not what this is about. It's about creating a structured, supportive, and motivating environment where students feel really empowered to learn.
Yep, you bet, Joanne. And I think the great news is that you don't have to create all of these resources. Like, this is done for you, ready to go inside the Ultimate Music Teachers membership at teachumt.com. We have a full library of games, resources, and strategies specifically designed to correlate with our Ultimate Music Theory workbooks. You can make gamification a really powerful part of your teaching with resources that are ready to go and all aligned with each level.
That's right. Inside the UMT membership, you'll find everything you need to learn, plan, teach, and grow your music business for productivity and profitability. You'll have access to courses, community, and coaching to support you every step of the way.
Absolutely. And if this episode has sparked your interest in using gamification to keep your students and your teaching fresh and exciting, join us at teachumt.com. You can get started today with the Momentum courses and the resources that simplify your lesson planning, engage your students, and help you grow your music teaching business.
And you don't have to do it all alone. We're here to help you bring that energy, excitement, and encouragement and meaningful learning to your lessons. So join us at teachumt.com and take the next step in your teaching journey. Here's to fresh ideas, fun lessons, and fantastic teaching.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us today. Keep that momentum going, keep your students engaged, and let's continue to make learning an unforgettable experience. Till next time, teach with passion. Bye now.
Bye.